I am Monica Brant, one of the world's first true fitness pioneers starting back in 1991. I helped launch the fitness industry while traveling internationally, meeting fans worldwide to share my style of fitness to the bodybuilding community. After a decade of fitness competitions, I earned one of the world's most prestigious titles, the IFBB Fitness Olympia Championships. Moving into the new millennium, I was the first IFBB Fitness Olympia athlete to transition into the new professional figure division and compete for close to another 20 years. After 15 years as an IFBB professional, I tried another organization and won the WBFF World Pro Figure Championships both 2010 and 2013. I am a true athlete and made my way into racing into the Masters USATF sprint events, placing top 3 at the World's Masters track meet in all 3 events, the 100, 200, and 400 meter races. Besides athletics, I have been honored with over 100 magazine covers both nationally and internationally. Since it's always a blessing to share with others, over the last 15 years, I've hosted women's fitness events and worked with the clients, helping them discover how to live radiantly in all areas of life, body, mind, soul, and spirit. The Monica Brant Show is one of the ways I am honoring the legendary athletes, powerhouse individuals, and nutrition gurus that have laid a strong foundation in the past, help keep the current industry flowing, and offer inspiration to the next generations. When I started taking Play Again, I was just getting back involved in competing in track. I've competed in fitness and figure competitions for now 23 years, but at the time I was just getting involved in running with the USATF Masters track events. I contribute a lot of my success into having a healthy body and having healthy joints. I know that the Play Again really helped keep me in a place where I wasn't fatigued and I wasn't as sore. If you can't recover fast enough, then you can't get back out and train fast enough. And when you do go to train, if you're not recovered enough, the training doesn't do any good. It's just this big circle of maintaining and recovery, training, maintaining, recovery, and thankfully Play Again is part of the recovery and part of the maintenance. Play Again now is a product that I will never stop using, that I am thankful to have in my life and thankful to be able to share it with others and keep everyone else as healthy as possible.
Hey guys, we're super excited to be here at the LA Fit Expo. It's our 3rd year in a row. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be launching a tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs. And we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Hi everybody, welcome to Tuesday night, Monica Brant Show. Good to see you guys tuning in. Seeing some nice comments, some friends and fans, and I just really appreciate you guys being on. I'm excited about tonight, a very, very special night tonight. And I want to just quick thank you to our sponsors. And I wanted to introduce the man of the hour. It's his 4-time Mr. Arnold Classic champion. He is a Ben Weider Achievement Award, a Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. He is a father, a husband, a grandfather, He's an author. He is one of the most beloved, admired, and most symmetrical bodybuilders of all time. And I'm very excited about our conversation tonight and just getting to bring him to all of you. So without further ado, Mr. Flex Wheeler.
It's a sport that will reveal to you who you are. I truly believe that some of the things I was able to go through in bodybuilding is because of the discipline I had, as a martial artist. My instructor, as he explained it, I was 100 times better as a martial artist than I ever could be as a bodybuilder. And he's the one who talked me into going into bodybuilding.
Basically what it was, a mental battle, and I knew I had to prove to myself first still that I can do it, because if I didn't believe in myself, it's no way that I was going to prove it to anyone else. So I really had to dig deep and do some soul searching, and when I came up with the energy, it was just blast off from there, and I was just full steam ahead from there. You only have a time in the spotlight for a certain period of time. You have to capitalize on that. Don't think that you can live there forever until that time comes where I'm no longer at the top. I want to always be known for my physique and my trueness to the sport, and my mentality set and so on.
Wow. The Flex Wheeler in person, live in front of us. So exciting. Hi, Flex.
How are you?
I'm really, really good. It's fun to see you, and it's fun to reminisce. What?
Yeah, I know. It's great to see you after all these years.
Thank you. Right? It's been a while. Goodness. So there's so much to talk about. There's so many things I want to ask and hear, and I know the fans probably have a lot they're going to be asking too. So we'll be sure and take some questions along the way and read some comments to you. And I don't know if you can see all the comments, but I know you are.
I just can read. I'm kind of getting old now. I don't have my spectacles on anymore.
Well, I have contacts in, and I've got very large print on the monitor, and I have family here helping me to make sure I don't miss things. But before we get into it, I do want to I want to share one of my sponsor giveaways. We have a question for everyone so they can start thinking about it. And whoever answers this question first wins our Egg White International product. It's going to be a half-gallon liquid egg whites and one of their fun clothing items. So this one's kind of fun. The yolk's on you. And here's one. Flex, you probably don't want to have this one, but this one's Chicks Train Harder. Anyways,
no problem.
But they have a ton of stuff. So anyways, the question for you guys that are watching, and you guys, whoever gets this answer first wins that giveaway. Which years did Flex win the Arnold? And I'll just give you. You don't count, but I bet we can get you some egg whites if you want.
Whoever's watching. That's not fair.
Whoever is a fan of Flex gets the answer right. There you go. Okay. So, Flex, I want to know how you're doing right now. I mean, there's so much going on in the world, and you've had such a tremendous year, not even a year yet. Like, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. You're talking about just the whole amputation thing and everything, right?
I mean, it's just, yeah. You've gone through a massive life change. And then we've got the lockdown, and then you're learning all these new things and having to try to figure out how to walk again and live in your home. And and then we're stuck with all of the crazy stuff that's going on in the world. So just how are you taking it in, and how are you managing to stay in a good place?
You know what? My life has always been a challenge. You know, it's always been a challenge since I was a childhood. Has always been some type of bout that I had to deal with, whether it's, you know, being homeless or suicidal or, you know, mistreated or molested, whatever, you know, kidney transplant, a rare kidney disease that there's no cure to, multiple back surgeries and everything. So, you know, I just have to view this as another challenge in my life, and it's one that I can't lose. So, you know, as far as the amputation, it is what it is. You know, it is extremely difficult. It took me a while to be able to accept it, and you know, now I accept it. It's the show that I live in. So, you know, I have to come up with a winning plan to be able to do that. And I actually, I take it upon myself to try to be an ambassador for other amputees, because normally they don't have the platform that I do, the voice that I do. So I really took it upon myself to try to be just an advocate for not just amputees, but other people who are just, I don't like to really use the word disability, but just have, you know, other challenges. So through that gives me strength. I've gotten just millions of response from people all over the world. It's really been great. And, you know, as far as this whole pandemic thing, I don't know if you really want to get into that, because I think it's more to it than, you know, what they're saying. And as far as this craziness was going on, you know, I don't know how deep you want to go into that, but you know, the truth is I haven't talked about it a lot publicly, you know, but I actually used to be a police officer, and I've had guns drawn on me multiple times by police officers. And, you know, the truth is I have always been in fear of being black and, you know, living in the United States. I've always literally been in fear, just based on situations that's happened to me, whether I was pulled over for no reason or whatnot. But, you know, it's overall sad, right? It's overall sad. And we know our history of our country has been going on since the beginning of time. But what's really sad is that it had to come to where another person lost their life for the entire world to unite. So, you know, it's sad that someone had to die for it to, you know, change that happens. But, you know, 9 times out of 10, something incredibly dramatic and just world shifting has to happen for people to wake up and take notice. So, you know, it's not a black or white thing. It's just, you know, people need to be treated as equal and accepted as equal. And, you know, other than the negative stuff that I see, you know, I'm more want to focus on the positive stuff. And that's just, you know, seeing all these races unite, because at the end of the day, I've always jokingly said, listen, you know, I'm a part of a race that was meant to rule over all others. And, you know, God, you know, invented my race to rule over all others. And, you know, the joke would be, you know, the human race. I'm a part of the human race. I don't see color.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
I just see good and bad. So, you know, we're all a part of the human race. And I think the sooner, you know, we can express that and get over all of our other crap, then, you know, we can just start loving and teaching and treating each other as equal.
Well, I appreciate what you have to say, and I really haven't gone out and said a whole lot myself, just because it's such a big thing. Of course, I'm a faith-filled girl, and as I've gotten older, it's been way more important to me. I mean, it's always been important, but, you know, as you get older, you hopefully get wiser, and you draw closer to, you know, your source of hope. Yeah. And my hope's always been in my faith. And I know that for me, that's a big part. You know, this last Sunday we were at church. We got to go back to church. We love our church.
Already back already? That's great.
Yeah. I mean, we're wearing a mask. They want us to wear a mask, and they're just trying to, you know, separation and all that. But, you know, we're in there, and I'm like teary-eyed with my girlfriends in there because we can't hug each other. But it's a blessing. But our pastor had an amazing message. I don't want to call it a service or it's a message. And I believe that's what Jesus gave, is a message.
Yeah.
And I've been debating, because I really felt like there was a couple scriptures I wanted to share with you that I really feel are impactful, that I had never seen in my studying of the scriptures, that was like, wow, this is a really cool message, and I think people need to hear it. And you just made a comment. You said one person had to die to really make a difference, right?
No, one more person.
One more, sorry. But the one that, we've all, been very sad to see, this situation with George. He was the one that stood out such a massive amount, right? But it just makes me think of, what did Jesus do for us?
I agree.
Right? I mean,
agree.
one person having to die for everyone. And so I want to actually share these scriptures really quick, and then I want to get back to you. But I think because this enlightened me with some really interesting new take on something on racism, which I was just really deeply moved by. And I'd never seen it this way, but our pastor brought it out without going into the whole message. But he said racism is a deep layered sin issue. And he gives us a scripture out of James, and I want to read it to you.
Please.
Yeah, because I'd never heard this before. I should have had it open already, James, but I was looking at, here we are. James 2:9. It says, but if you show favoritism, you sin and are convicted by the law as lawbreakers. And I've never thought like that. I mean, just that it's scripture. It's so powerful. And then he had another couple verses here that I just want to share real quick, because they were really good. Galatians 3:22. And I didn't plan to do this, but I just really wanted to share it with you. And I hope you don't mind that I just felt to share. Galatians 3:28. 3:28, right? My eyesight's correct. It says, this is beautiful. There is neither Jew nor Gentile. I might start crying. Neither slave nor free, nor is there male and female, for you all are one in Christ Jesus. It's scripture, like nobody's going back to what we're made of. And who's the one that really, took our place so that we could all be free and so that we could all live together. And then there's another one in Revelation, and these were just eye-openers for me, and I was like, this message could have been any time, but he actually had it. He had this message already for months, and he said, I didn't even know that God was going to give me this message in the time that's happening, right? It wasn't planned. It was planned months in advance. But this is in Revelation, and, Revelation is a big revelation of what's to come, right? So it says, and this is 7:9. It says, after this, I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, tribe, people, and language, standing before the throne and before the Lamb. They were wearing white robes and were holding palm branches in their hands, and they cried out in a loud voice, salvation belongs to our God who sits on the throne and to the Lamb. But what's so beautiful, it says, no one could count all these people from every nation, tribe, people, and language. Like, we're all just, people just got to grow up and go back to the Bible. Read some of the scripture.
Well, I agree, and what you read is beautiful, and I concur. It's just, we get caught up in our own little worlds and our own little problems.
Right.
But the truth is, it's a bigger battle that's going on, and it's darkness and light. And that's where the true essence of this battle, and that's why it's so great. And people wonder, why does racism or sexism still exist? It's bigger than racism and sexism. Those are just the little tools, but behind the picture, there's a battle between
It's a spiritual battle that we're all in, and people sometimes catch it and sometimes they don't. And I feel like someone like myself who's faithful, and I believe the Lord too, and it's like we've got to make sure we share those things, because everyone's so worried about this racism, but it's really a sin issue, right? It's just and it's just crazy. So I don't want to be preachy, but I just had to share those scriptures. They were very powerful, I thought. And I just love that God looks at all of us as one. and he loves all of us equally. And it says that Jesus told the disciples that people would know who they were by how they loved others, and if they loved others as Jesus loved them. And I like, that's what we got to get back to. It's like, racism is a sin issue that people just can't they don't want to understand others. They don't want to accept others. I don't know, but there is very big hope on the other side when you read the Revelation about all the people of every tribe, every nation, it's exciting to think we're all going to be together, those of us that, have that faith. So anyways, I felt like that was positive.
You see it in the remarkable videos and photos of just miles and miles of racial, different races all together marching, and it's mind-boggling to see that all over the world. I mean, all over the world. But my grandmother raised me, and she was born in 1909. 1909. So if you know anything about history, you got to understand everything she's seen and bared witness to. And from that, she always taught me there's no black and white. There's just good and bad. And I've never from the day seen color. I'm aware that I'm seen as a color, but I don't see other people as a color. But no, it's just good and there's bad. Simple as that.
Well, I'll have to just lighten this up and say I'm always jealous of your dark skin colors, because you don't get all the aging that us white people get.
You know what? There's a joke.
I don't know. You always look like you got Botox and everything, plump cheeks, and I'm like, what the? Where's my plumpness without, Y'all have the anti-aging secret.
The pizza I ate yesterday that made my face look
What kind of pizza?
I can
what flavor?
Over to you and help you out with that if you want. I want to listen to you.
The pizza. What's your favorite pizza?
Pepperoni, black olives.
Oh, you got the black olives. My husband's a pepperoni all day long. I do like the black olives, but awesome.
I just started throwing the olives in like about 15 years ago because I thought maybe it kind of add a little healtty flavor to it.
Okay. Maybe will it make it more keto since it's a little more high in fat?
It's all perception, right? If I perceive it is, then it is in my brain.
Right. I asked, I came back from Olympia and Arnold one year, and I was living with my girlfriend Heidi at the time out in LA. And Heidi. Yep. So we were laughing because I was, after the show, you're like, you want to eat something. Well, I was hungry for celery and peanut butter, and I'm crunching on that. And she was talking to, I think she was talking to Sean Phillips at the time on the phone. And I said, ask him how many pieces of celery I have to eat to balance out the whole jar of peanut butter I'm eating.
Wow, celery and peanut butter. That's one of my old favorites. You just made me hungry for that now.
You're going to be getting some celery. Well, if you do, take a picture and tag me on it.
I will definitely.
Okay, question, creamy or crunchy?
Crunchy.
Me too. Yum. Okay, all day long.
Be crunchy.
Yeah, okay, so I want to hear about your amazing martial arts artist, athlete. I know you don't consider yourself a complete athlete, but being a martial artist to that level is an athlete. Just very specialized athlete. And I didn't really know that until I started kind of watching some of your stuff, and I was like, what? And I guess I knew you could do those front splits, and that was pretty amazing. So, you tell me a little bit about how you got started in that. Tell our fans, because I don't know if everyone realizes that you were very, very skilled at that sport.
Yeah, I started martial arts when I was about 8 years old. I at a recreational center. They used to sell movies on a weekend in my neighborhood. So I went and I seen Enter the Dragon, and I just fell in love with Bruce Lee as a character, and it just lit me up. And that's when I started martial arts, and I just, like you and some of the things you did, equestrian and some of the stuff that you done, obviously competing as a global champion and all that. It just kind of feels right, you know what I mean? And it just felt right, and I loved it. I mean, I watched every martial arts movie. I was one of those guys that would be, kicking trees and stuff like it, and high school and all that. And I just really enjoyed it. It's my first love as a sport. I love it more than I do bodybuilding, especially as much as I've achieved in bodybuilding. Martial arts is still my number one sport. And I just, I never really been into recreational drugs or anything like that. But I from what I hear people say, for me in a ring fighting gives me such a high and such a shot of adrenaline. It must be similar to what drug addicts get when they take drugs, because when I hit or be hit, it's just like, man, it's just nothing but a big smile comes over my face. I'm like, yeah, man, let's get it on.
You never got hit. What are you talking about?
In a beautiful way. But my as I said, before, my martial arts teacher, who's like a mentor to me still and a big brother, he is the one who actually got me into bodybuilding, because I was doing bodybuilding and fighting at the same time. And I'd actually won the Mr. California, the MPC Mr. California in '89. And that Sunday, I went and won the California State Champion in fighting.
That's crazy.
And like, man, I'm like, well, which one do I do? And he goes, you do which one that chose you. I'm like, what do you mean? He always philosophical. He'd never tell me the answer.
Grasshopper.
And he goes, yeah. He's like, you do which one that's chosen you. And I'm like, which one's chosen me? And he goes, bodybuilding's chosen you. I'm like, how could you say that? I'm an undefeated fighter. I hadn't been scored on in like over 60 fights. I hadn't lost over like 100 fights. I'm like, how could you say that? And he goes, well, at that time, and we're going back into the 80s, early 90s, late 80s. At that time, if anybody can recall, there was no great films about martial artists back then. Just Bruce Lee, and he had to make that in a whole different country, right? So, United States, if you're a great martial artist, you would go out and do a bunch of flamboyant kicks and stuff, and the star of the movie would throw one punch, and knock you out. So it was really a disgrace to us true martial artists, because A, he would have never been able to throw that punch without getting mopped up, and B, it's like a disrespect to our talent. And there was really no money involved, and there was money involved in bodybuilding at the time. So I took up bodybuilding, and that's how that kind of started.
Wow, that's a lot of fights to have gone through. Did you have broken? I mean, you won everything, so you didn't. Did you suffer any injuries from all of that?
No, it took a while. When I first started, I got my ASS handed to me every day.
I had to spell that out for a second. I'm like, is that an award?
Yeah, no, I just want
I'm
to
sorry.
be clear. No, I didn't win all the time. Towards the end of my career, I hardly ever got scored on, and I never lost a fight. But just like in bodybuilding, when I first started as an amateur, I just got mopped the floor. People mopped the floor at me, but I didn't know it at that time, and my trainers did. Ty McGuire, my martial artist instructor, he knew. It was just, I was running up against people who were closer to their genetic potential, and I was still so far away from my genetic potential, just like in bodybuilding. I remember hearing guys, say to me, I beat you before, as a rookie, I'm going to beat you again when you turn pro. And I'm like, it's not going to happen. It's just that they were closer and done the sport longer than I had. So at the early on, the first 10, 15 years, I didn't win too much. But towards the end, it was very hard for people to touch me. And, I just loved it. But no, as far as injuries, no, I didn't suffer any major injuries. I mean, we don't consider like a broken ankle or a hand or knuckles. That's normal. You know what I mean?
Normal.
So I didn't suffer in anything major. I more or less caused damage to other people than they caused to me. So, breaking ribs and, breaking a rib or giving them a skull fracture or something like that, but again, it's kind of like when you watch MMA now against real respectful fighters, they will try to hurt you viciously, but it's the sport. And when that sport is over with, we'll give you a hug, we'll shake your hand, we'll pick you up, because it's battle. And in true battle, my goal was to put you under so much pain and pressure that you would surrender. And if you're fighting another real warrior, that's going to be a lot of bloodshed, but it's nothing personal. It's nothing personal. The same as, my philosophy, Monica, on stage, I never got offended by my competitor who wanted to beat me, because this gentleman is on stage. He's trying to do the same thing I am. He's trying to get a better contract. He's trying to feed his family. He's trying to, feed himself. So why would you get offended about this person? If you lose against them, then make yourself better. But I never believed in harnessing, ill will to another person who's being competitive against me. I never perceived that as being a real champion, to be pissed off about someone because they want to do better than you do.
Right. That's powerful to say, and I bet a lot of people have never really thought like that. You know, you hear so many people grumbling and complaining.
Yeah,
like, hey, we're all working hard.
We all work. You know what I mean? And
hard.
the truth is, right? If you're really upset about it, go and talk to the judge.
Yep.
Don't talk to your female or your male competitor that you competed against.
Right.
Go holler at the judge because they're the ones who control. You know, I didn't make the decision.
Right.
You know, they did. So if you're really all about that, go holler at who it counts. You know, don't step to the other person. They don't have anything to do with it.
You know, I won a show in 2010. It's the first show I'd won since the 1998 Olympia. And it was a different organization. Anyways, I won the show, and I go up to my hotel room and going to go change and come back down. They're having a party in the hotel lobby or whatever for all the athletes. And I get in the elevator with the girl who'd been winning and her husband at the time, and she came in second. And I was trying to just visit like nicely on the elevator ride up to the floor. And she literally spun on me and went off on me about how the show was rigged, and I knew it, and how could I, you know, what in the world am I thinking? And I was so floored. I've never had, I was like, just like you're saying, like we're all on the same stage and we all tried hard. Like, what are you saying? All the hard work I did wasn't necessary. I mean, what? Anyways, it was such a blow. And that particular show, I was by myself because it was in Canada and my family couldn't come. It was too much, right? My trainer was up there and some friends, but I was like kind of floored for a minute. I had to call my trainer and my friends. I'm like, can you come up here for a minute? I just need a minute. I mean, I hadn't won a show in 12 years, and I win a show, and I'm like pummeled. I was like, can you come and just kind of like help me get through this? Because it was such a big.
No, you know, Monica, I've always thought that you never know a real champion. A champion isn't proven as a real champion until he goes through obstacles. And normally, for example, that's losing or having a major injury or something that set you back, and you pierce through that problem and you persevere. So, you know, just because you're winning all the time, that'll make you a champion. We both know that. We've seen other champions win a lot. And as soon as they lose, you see the real personality comes out. So, you know, it's easy to win. Everybody's, you know, want to hang around you. The money's coming in, you know, contracts is coming in. Let yourself go through some obstacles, and then you'll see who that person really is. So, yeah, I agree with you. That's sad.
I love it. So, Flex, we've got some. I've got rapid fire questions for you. So we're going to do these 10 rapid fire questions. I'm going to try and speak fast, and then we're going to go to about a 2-minute break, and then we'll come back. So you guys hang tight. We're going to do these questions first, and I got to find them because where did they go? I'm sorry. Where'd you go? Were they out there? I thought I brought them in. Shoot. No. I had them. Where you look out? Yeah, I'll just look out on that. Oh, here they are. They got hidden under something. Okay, got it. Woo! Okay, rapid fire. Okay, Flex. What is your favorite girly movie you've maybe watched with your wife that you really enjoyed, but you hate to say it?
Actually, it wasn't really a girly movie. We just watched The Help last night again.
Okay.
You know, it's not really a girly movie, but it is about women.
It's not about fighting.
Huh?
It's not about fighting and.
Yeah, it's not about fighting, but
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go back to that. I don't have a good answer on that one.
Okay. Worst healthy food you eat but would rather not eat it?
Fish.
Okay, here's just kind of a fun one. If you were female, what event would you want to compete in?
The skiing. When they jump and all that stuff, yeah.
Okay. So just skip bikini and figure and fitness, go straight to the skiing.
Yeah, my mind won't wrap around that question as far as bikini
Be totally so, covered up in ski clothes. Got it.
Yeah, I'm staying safe.
Okay. Your favorite thing about being married?
Comfortability, not having to worry about being out there. I can't say not worried about what I look like, because I'm always conscious, even around my wife. You know, I still hold my gut in and all that stuff, but just simplicity and not having to be out there.
Okay, awesome. That's great. If you could redo 1 year, either keeping it the same or editing the year, what year would it be?
I absolutely couldn't change anything that's ever happened to me, and I'm talking about the worst of the worst or the best of the best, because all those things that have allowed me to evolve into the person I am today, and I continue to evolve.
So would there be 1 year that you would say you'd like to redo it? Not to change it, but just to go through it all again?
No.
Cool.
No.
All right, what's your favorite brand of clothing?
I don't have one. I'm not really a clothes guy. Actually, I am coming up my own formal wear, so I guess it would be my own formal wear that I'm going to release.
Like in your picture with your white suit where you look so handsome? Is something like that, you mean? Or like...
That wasn't one, but I wore 4 of my different designs at the Honor Classic this year.
Ah, cool. Okay. That'll be fun to see. It'll be tailored for bodybuilders, maybe?
No, tailored for everyone. Everyone. You know, they have those apps now where you can get your own results as far as measurements.
Cool.
And then we also have the ability to send a person to come out and measure you wherever you're at in the world. So yeah, we're working on that right now.
You should make a jacket that you could have like kind of bulked up underneath it, so it could look like a bodybuilder underneath it if they wanted to add like 10 pounds to them. You know, women get push-up bras. You guys should have something.
Right. That's like back in the, I think it was the 70s with the, everybody had the suit that had the big shoulders on. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Favorite photographer that you've worked with in the past?
Wow, that would really get me in trouble if I was to say one, right?
What about, I know, right? It would be hard to say. What about your favorite cover? Do you have one?
I don't. I'm really bland when it comes to that. You know, I don't. Monica, I don't really celebrate my past achievements because they're in the past.
Sure.
I'm always trying to focus on what's next. So, like we were talking earlier, I don't have too many pictures of me on the wall as an athlete. You know, all my cover shots and everything like that in the garage, and have probably been ripped through by water and everything else. So no, I just
Well, you should go reminisce once in a while. It's kind of fun just to look at them. You know,
they got Instagram, so people post them and I see them. So.
Good old Instagram. Okay, if you could go on vacation right now, where would you want to go?
Sounds so boring.
Texas?
But be home because I've traveled for the last 3 decades around the world. And for me, comfortable in a vacation is actually being at home and not having to look at the computer, not having to post or anything.
Right.
And I live in Vegas. Most people come here anyway to vacation. So
staycation then. The staycation? Perfect. Okay. Staycation, yes. And what about this one? I know people might like to hear this. We've got someone that says, come to Brazil. Jane Santos.
I've been there like 40 times over the last
she's hoping
20 years.
Maybe she's hoping you're coming back. Okay, last question before we go to quick break, you guys. Don't go anywhere unless you have to go use the ladies' room, the men's room, grab a drink of water or something, come right back. We got more with Flex here. Supplement that you have used the most out of all supplements, like your favorite supplement. That's
creatine.
What is it? Creatine. Sorry. Creatine. Okay, cool. Well, that wraps up our rapid fire questions. We're going to come back. Don't go anywhere. 2 minutes max. When I started taking Play Again, I was just getting back involved in competing in track. I've competed in fitness and figure competitions for now 23 years. But at the time, I was just getting involved in running with the USATF Masters track events. I contribute a lot of my success into having a healthy body and having healthy joints. I know that the Play Again really helped keep me in a place where I wasn't fatigued and I wasn't as sore. If you can't recover fast enough, then you can't get back out and train fast enough. And when you do go to train, if you're not recovered enough, the training doesn't do any good. It's just this big circle of maintaining and recovery, training, maintaining, recovery, and thankfully Play Again is part of the recovery and part of the maintenance. Play Again Now is a product that I will never stop using, that I am thankful to have in my life and thankful to be able to share it with others and keep everyone else as healthy as possible.
Hey guys, we're super excited to be here at the LA Fit Expo. It's our third year in a row. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be launching the Tasty Pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs. And we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
All right, we're back with Flex Wheeler. Live on Tuesday night.
What,
all right.
What year did we meet?
What?
At Gold's Gym. First time you came to Gold's Gym. What year was that?
I showed up at Gold's in 1995. I was 24. Yes.
95.
I
I
remember.
remember the first time seeing you. I think you were back in a aerobics room stretching and everything, and I was impressed
Probably.
because you were flexible. Because obviously, I was flexible and everything like that. So, wow, time
Yep.
flies when you're having fun.
I know. Well, I
think
was.
I had hair. You
What?
still have your hair.
I
used to
still have my
back
hair.
then.
Yeah. Us girls got to keep our hair
More
as much.
hair, less hair here. Yeah.
Yeah, you grew yours out here.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to first of all give our winner out here who won the Egg White International giveaway for announcing which years you won the Arnold. And we have Cece Hall. Woohoo! I remember Cece. Nice to see you, Cece. She got it right. 93, 97, 98, 2000. So, Cece, I'm going to, if you don't mind, well, I can come on later. I just need to get your information so I can get this product to you. So afterwards, I'll get in touch with you, Cece. So congratulations, Cece. It's good to see you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've actually seen Cece. It's been a while. But we've got one more question for a giveaway of Legendary Foods, you guys. So here is the question. And if you guys haven't checked this product line out, these things are really amazing. And I'm just going to really, really quick show you. There's some nut butters. This one's blueberry cinnamon bun flavored almond butter. No sugar added. Apple pie flavored almond. That's almond and cashew butter. Anyways, this stuff is really, really good. And here's a little fun.
Sounds good.
Did you eat Pop-Tarts when you were a kid ever?
Oh my gosh! I just came from the store and I almost bought a huge box, but
Don't
I
buy
have this thing on my place. It's called excess fat, so I didn't buy them.
Well, here, you can eat these Pop-Tarts. These are, they're really good. I'll connect you to Michael. And remember Gina Eliotti? She was
I
a
do.
figure
Good name.
Olympia winner. I can't remember how many times she won, but this is, she and her and Mike, this is their company. So it's
Wow.
yeah. And I'm telling you,
Big Pop-Tarts, it already makes me start salivating.
I know. They're really good. And they also have flavored almonds and, of course, the nut butter. So, anyways, they're really, really special. Okay, wait. Bring out the pizza one. What? I just got to share one with you here. No, where is it? This one. Look it. Can you read that?
Can't read it, but I can see it.
Pizza flavored
Okay.
almonds.
Oh,
Pizza flavored. What? I mean, they do taste like pepperoni pizza. So there you go.
oh really?
Okay,
Wow.
I'll quit talking about food. So the question for you guys Cece, if you're still on and you want to try to win this one, you can win again. So, whoever gets this one first. What muscle group does Flex's back widow target? Ooh, speaking.
No, I know.
No, speaking of, let's talk about this back widow. This is. I was watching the videos and people training, and it looks really awesome and how convenient. And I don't know if I'm giving away the answer right now, but tell me a little bit about how you got involved with that company. Maybe we'll go there before we give away the answer.
Sure. Actually, me and a good friend of mine, Paul Tabone, we're going back and forth, just what helps create a great back and different apparatus out there. And we would train at the same gym a lot, and just all these different tools you want to use that are out there, and sometimes they're always taken, or you worry about somebody else how to use or whatnot. And he's a great fabricator, a great artist, and he started fabricating this, this Frankenstein together, and we're going back and forth and manipulated, and it started kind of looking like Black Widow, with the little red and the spider looking.
Right.
So we came up with the spoof, Black Widow, and that's how it started, and it's been going really great. I'm amazed at how well it's going. Every show we went to, we've completely sold out. Right now, we're just working out deals with massive gyms and chains to get them in those gyms and stuff like that. But we're all over the world right now in most countries, and super happy and excited about it. Yeah.
That is so cool. And I saw that you're sold out, so I'll have to wait for like everyone else for 6 weeks or whatever.
You know what? I will make sure that you get one. I'll make sure that you.
That would be awesome, and I'll try it out and send some posts and stuff. That'd be really fun. And I saw Ronnie Coleman using it, right?
I know, he kind of blew me up, man. It's like, he went and bought it, and I'm like, come on, man, you just made me look bad. You could have called and I would have sent you one, but yeah, he went out and actually bought one, and I was like, he just made me look bad, but he liked it.
I think
I've had a lot of,
I just think he was trying to support you and wanted to really be try it out and not ask for favors, right? Like.
Yeah, but me and Ronnie are beyond close. But no, it's beautiful that he really wanted it enough to go out and purchase it and everything. And that definitely, I mean, we come from a world where people always are asking for things,
right.
As if there's no value to it. But we're incredibly happy what's going on right now. And, not a bad thing, but being that, we all were turned away from gyms right now, it really proved his point with the home gym utilization. So that really kind of boosted our sales and awareness and everything. So hopefully that'll transfer back into gyms and everything like that. So we're waiting till all the gyms get back open. But thank you. I appreciate it.
That's awesome. Do you have any other opportunities coming up? Any other business opportunities coming up that you want to share about? Yeah,
I have my own nutrition company that I'm openly founding, representing everybody else's. So working on that right now, and hopefully have everything ready that we can launch at the Olympia this year, if not before. And as I told you before, I have my own men's formal wear, actually men and women's formal wear that I'm working on also. And if anybody's seen any of the pictures of me at the Honor Classic, the 4 different suits that I wore were my own design that I'm going to be launching along with everything else. So super excited about that. Releasing my own workout line with straps and belts and all that stuff, and attire for men and women to train. So after representing so many different companies and all these different layers of sports and fitness, to finally launch my own brand and everything, I'm beyond excited about that, Monica. Beyond excited.
Well, you are an entrepreneur and you are a fashion designer too, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
Have you ever considered that you're a fashion designer?
I don't look at it that way, but even when you said, an author, it's like, oh yeah, I guess so, huh?
Yeah.
But like I said before, I don't sit around and think about what I've done or accomplished. I'm trying to do things. So, I've never been wired that way. I try, I'm an overachiever. I'm never satisfied. I'm never happy about anything I'm done. I just go at it. So, I remember like when I went in Honor Classic, I would always tell myself, even back then, as sad as it sounds, I would tell myself, you have, about 4 hours to enjoy yourself and then forget about it. Who cares? You won that already. Nobody's going to be scared of you in your next show. Mm-hmm. So I would go back and I would eat my pizza and give myself about 4 hours. And when I wake up in the middle of the night, it's like back to work. Nobody's going to be afraid of you next weekend because you won this show. They're going to try to beat your butt. Mm-hmm. And then that would void out your last victory. So I don't really, I'm not really wired where I sit back and think about my achievements. It's they're past tense, they're done. I'm just trying to do more things. And now I'm just trying to, kind of just set up my legacy. Like yourself, I don't really want to be known as a competitor. That's not what my legacy I want to be. I want my legacy to be just, somebody who tried to help everybody else and make a difference. That's what I want to be known for, to be known for as a great athlete. What are you really saying when you say that? You're not really saying anything at all.
Right.
especially when there's so many previous great athletes who've been just jerks, rapists, murderers, this, that, and other. So when you put me in that category, you're not really saying anything about me in a positive way. I just want to be known as just, a person who cared about other people and strive to try to make the world better.
Well, I was listening to one of your interviews, and I just, really enjoyed and have enjoyed listening to your other interviews, by the way. And one of them, you were talking about valuetainment, I think.
Yeah, valuetainment. Yeah,
Patrick. Yeah, he's fun to listen to, and I always enjoy his interviews. But you were talking about some of the things that you want to do to give back and to really help after the amputee and amputation. And where are you thinking with that? Like, are there specific groups around where you live, or you think about traveling and maybe being able to speak to different people? And I mean, how do you see that, or do you have plans for that? Because that was really intriguing to me. You have such a big story to share.
As I said earlier, I really want to be an ambassador for that. I was really getting things going before all this pandemic hit, and it's really slowed everything down. But no, I want to do this globally. And it's not just that, I'm a kidney transplant patient also. So, I have a heart, a soft spot in my heart for transplant patients also. So, again, I want to start up my own nonprofit organization. The company that I'm so thankful that sponsors my prosthetic leg, Pop Prosthetics, because it's expensive. They've already agreed to give me all the used prosthetics, because here in the United States, we can't reuse prosthetic legs, but in other countries we can. So I'm really just trying to learn more about that. I want to do it right. Trying to talk to different global sponsors to help me get out there. But, to be really honest, Monica, it's somewhat heartbreaking, because, everybody would, were throwing things at me, all kind of companies were contacting me about, doing my leg and, in wheelchairs. And I even have an incredible wheelchair now in my house, still electronic wheelchair that was given to me. But, my heart really bleeds for, for people who don't have that type of support. So when I'm out and, I see another person who needs help, whether it's they're homeless, because I've been homeless, or, they're an amputee, it breaks my heart, because they don't have people just walking up to them, handing them stuff, giving them stuff for free. So it's really a calling. And I'm really, as I said a million times, I really mean it. I'm really thankful and I'm blessed that I've been put in this position where I can speak for other people who can't be, don't have the same type of reach I do. To the best of my knowledge, I'm probably the highest profile athlete who had to go through something like that. And I just want to use that vehicle to bring awareness, because, as you said before, what is that like, just moving around the house? It's really mind boggling. There's no more watching TV in my home and waiting till the last minute, because, it's a great suspense movie that I'm watching, and wait till the last minute and run to the bathroom real quick. It's none of that. It's no just jumping out of bed in the middle of the night and going to the bathroom. Everything has to be choreographed and well thought out. When I travel, it has to be well thought out, and we all know, public bathrooms are not the cleanest place in the world. So I have to bring sanitary things with me. Just, my house has stairs, and, it's the most frightening thing. It's so terrifying to me to walk in my stairs in my home. When I come downstairs, I never go back up till it's time to go to bed. I don't go up and down the stairs, because it's, when you look at a staircase, you normally look at each stair in front of you. And in an amputee, what I do is I look at the fall, how far it will be down, and that's terrifying. So it's so many things that I'm sure, like yourself and everybody else, you would see a person who were missing a limb or some type of situation they were going through, and you wonder, in a loving manner, wow, I wonder what happened.
Right.
I never asked anybody, but you look at them as you glance and you lock that picture in your mind, and you continue walking because you don't want to stare. You're wondering, like, wow, what happened?
Right. Like what you're saying.
And it really crushes me, because the first time I started going back out in public, people look at me and almost like with sympathy and sad, like, oh, and I'm like, no, I'm the happiest man in the world. No matter what, I've said this a million times already, but no matter what I've achieved as an athlete, I've always had insecurities. I'm incredibly insecure. I have incredible low self-esteem. I don't think that great of myself or anything I've done. I've always been wired that way. No matter what type of persona that I put out there, it's a joke. It's a lie. I've always thought of myself as the world's greatest chameleon because nobody really knew who I was. I would put on an act in front of everyone at all times. But that was never really me. So it's odd that one would look at my photos and think like, wow, how perfect I look.
Right.
But when I look at my photos, I think of all the imperfections. But now, me as a person, people look at me and think that I have an imperfection because I'm missing a limb. Mm-hmm. Where now, truly, I'm perfect. I'm perfect. I don't worry about things that I used to. I mean, I was so bad, Monica, that when I'm in public, I'm monitoring how I walk because I'm trying to make sure I'm standing up straight, or I don't want to accidentally, slip or anything like that. Are my clothes straight? Who's looking at me? Wearing glasses because I don't want to make eye contact with other people. But now, none of that bothers me anymore. I'm content. So if this is what needs to happen for me to be content in my life at the age of almost 55 in a couple of months, and that's a blessing. And to be able to, stand and for people who can't stand, that's a blessing. And I'm honored to be in this position. And, I'm just right now, I'm trying to learn as much as I can about the different organizations I can be a part of, the Ronald McDonald Foundation, and there's a million other foundations out there.
Wow.
That I want to try to be a part of, and also just trying to learn how to open my nonprofit organization, not to be just a quote unquote nonprofit organization, but I want to be helpful to people because they really need it.
Well, I can certainly hear it in your voice and in your words, and I can feel your heart. It's powerful, and I just, I guess I feel like saying congratulations on this heart change for yourself. I feel excited for you, and I feel like you've had a revelation where God's been able to show how much He loves you and how much what His plan for you is, but He used what you've done to get to this place, right? And if you had not gone through all of that, this may not have hit you the same way. And it's really inspiring, and I know how to keep you in my prayers for your dreams, God says when we,
Thank you.
yeah,
It's true. My whole childhood and everything I had to go through, homeless, beaten, molested, all the fights that I had to go through, all the surgeries. I mean, I've stopped counting surgeries at about 70,
my goodness.
And most of I don't talk about, people don't even know, but my point in saying all of that is not that boo-hoo-hoo.
No.
My point is, I really feel that everything that I went through before this happened was preparing me for this battle.
Well, have you ever heard that God can turn our messes into a message?
Yeah, definitely, and I'm honored to be, in that predicament. And I have a big mouth, and I shoot my mouth off a lot because, that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It's incredibly hard. It's incredibly hard. But I made a decision when I decided for them to take my leg that I was going to be an advocate for people like me, and that's scary. That's hard because I got to go through tough battles, and I have to really go through the harm and the dirt of this. And I remember the first time I came home, I thought I was okay in the hospital. I told myself, if I wake up after they take my leg and I look down there and I see my leg missing and I'm okay with it, I'm going to be fine. If I look down and I freak out, then I'm going to have a major problem here. And when I woke up and I looked down there, I'm like, okay, I'm good. And I was fine during the whole time in the hospital. I had my ups and downs, but I was more so fine. But the first night I came home, it really dropped me. And the bad thoughts hit me. I walked in my home and there's pictures of me and my children and my family members all over my home. And, one of my first thoughts was, wow, isn't that beautiful just to have two legs?
Aw, yeah.
And and looking at my furniture and every trophy in here, it's like, wow, I bought that. I had 2 legs. Or, looking at my car, or looking at any of my trophies, or any of the, wow, I had 2 legs then, and so, I was a roller coaster, emotional roller coaster, sobbing, and, I'm in pain 24 hours a day. It never goes away. And that was more difficult before than it is now. It's just a part of life now. But, I remember telling my wife, because she was devastated because I just had broken.
Right.
And I told her, I said, Sheena, this is something I have to go through. I have to go through this by myself. I have to feel, every essence of the bowels of the pain and everything. If I'm going to sit there in front of another person who's been through what I've been through, I'm going to have to go through this in order to be able to help them. So I'm going to have to embrace this ride. And I can't fake any of it, because if I'm sitting in front of somebody and they're thinking about taking their life, like I thought about taking mine, and I fake it with them, I'm going to lose them. So, it doesn't make it easy. Batman, he gets his butt kicked and he goes back to the Batman cave and he gears up and he comes back out and he fight another great battle. So it doesn't mean that, it's going to be easy, but I'm honored to be in this position to be able to, to help people who really need help, man, need help.
You seem to fall beautifully into James 1, where James is a disciple that talks how we're supposed to go through trials and we're supposed to count them all joy, because they build our character, and they God can refine us through them. And it just feels like you're like the living proof of that right now. And that's a compliment, because I can't imagine how hard that would be.
I do, and I understand, and thank you so much. I just, I don't want to mislead people to think that this is a fairy tale and it's all great.
No,
I mean,
no.
Being in pain 24 hours a day, it's mind bending, and I'm talking, level 7, 10 all day.
What is the pain from at this point?
I'm in pain right now. It never goes away. I mean, I don't exaggerate. 24 hours a day, I'm in pain. I made a decision because I had to argue with my doctor so much about the drugs that they gave me in the hospital, because they had to give me very extremely high doses of narcotics to take me out of pain. And, I had to literally fight with them, because some of the doses were life-threatening, and they didn't want to do it. But I knew my body, because I've been in the hospital for long, extensive times. But I made a decision as soon as I came home, I wasn't going to take any more narcotics. So my pain probably could be a little bit less. But I choose not to take any narcotics while I'm at home. I don't trust them. I hallucinate tremendously on them. Minutes will be actually days to me when I'm hallucinating and on narcotics, and I just can't afford to have that. I need to have my brain when I'm at home. So, I'm just against that. And so I just don't want to mislead people to think, oh wow, he has it easy, it's going great from
No.
It is what it is, and I have to find a silver lining, and I do embrace the bad part of this, because other people are going to go through these bad things too. And again, if I'm going to be able to sit there and counsel or talk to someone about what they're going through, I need to experience it truly for myself and not run from that battle, but run to it.
Wow, that's pretty powerful, Flex. Very powerful, and it doesn't sound easy at all. In fact, I'm looking at the sun on you, and I'm wondering, are you hot from feeling the sun? And like, I want to ask you if you need to.
It is getting heated.
Here
in Vegas, and the sun is on the other side of my house, so it's starting to come through. But
Well, you have so much coming up, and I'm really excited for you for those things, because it's fun to have new opportunities to work on, and you've got. Your brain is just active, I can tell, and you've really thought through a lot of things that you can market well, that you can speak through and to, between all the training gear. Because, I mean, let's face it, you've trained your whole life. Like, so much about that. I know we really haven't talked a lot about your training, and, but man, you've done years of that. But what, just out of curiosity, what do you have anything at home right now that you're able to utilize for upper body, or are you even able to exercise? Or no? Well, actually, I saw your one Instagram post where you're doing leg extensions. Was that today?
That was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Yeah.
So are you going to a gym, or you have that at home?
No, I was at a gym.
Okay.
I known gyms are starting to open back up, and even before they closed, I was back in the gym trying to get back in shape, trying to, as we call, loading my leg to get it strong enough to be able to handle me to walk on it, and just getting used to the pain barrier of putting weight on my leg and stuff like that. So I have a few things at home that I can train with. I do go to the gym, and I actually went to the gym today, and the truth about going to the gym, it truly is the only fountain of youth that really works. Is working out. It's we sell products and we talk about products, and they're like accessories. They're not the main ingredients. Hard work, eating clean, going into the gym and doing some type of calisthenics or physical activity or something like that is the real true fountain of youth. And then everything else is like icing on the cake. It's like for a female, you got to put on the baseline coat of everything, and then you accentuate everything else. So the baseline is us going to the gym and getting that work done, and then we accentuate and help everything else by the other products that we take, the minerals and vitamins and stuff like that. So no, I do work out, and I became a skinny fat bastard over the last 3 months because during a quarantine, I just had a habit of embarrassingly just eating potato chips and sour cream dip in my bed.
My mom's giggling on that one. What's your favorite potato chip?
Probably my favorite would be just plain Lay's potato chips, but because I'm going to have my sour cream dip with it. Other than that, it would be barbecue just by themselves. But
the barbecue?
Yeah. Oh, I love barbecue chips.
The barbecue Lay's?
Yeah.
That's my husband's favorite all day long.
Yeah. So.
Okay, I want to read a couple of these, some of the messages here. So we've got Flex, greetings from Mexico. And Ruben, that was Higar. Ruben says this is such a beautiful this is such a beautiful interview, but he's having some internet connection. Sorry, Ruben. Let's see. Frankie Rivera, Flex, you've always been an inspiration, even more so now after this interview and hearing your honesty. Salute to you, brother, and keep inspiring people. Oh, that's beautiful. We've got another one. Wheeler, perfect body symmetry mass wit class. I guess he meant with class. Wit. Well, maybe he meant your wit. You've got fun wits. And can you scroll back up a little bit, Kona? Flex, best of fitness industry forever. So inspiring. Amazing interview. Flex, I loved you as a bodybuilder. Now I think you're more amazing.
Thank you.
Best of luck. Back Widow Lats. Oh, Ruben's trying to win this one. Back Widow Lats. If right, I'll share with another viewer. He's hoping he won. We'll circle back to that. Your Flex, been a fan for many years. Remember meeting you in Houston years ago. Kevin Rohr. Kevin's a friend of mine there in Houston. Good guy.
What's up, Kev?
Hey, right. And Jane Santos. I haven't seen you in forever, Jane, IFBB Pro. So Monica, thank you so much to have him over. You both are such huge inspirations beside being a legend of the sport. Thank you, Jane. It's very, very sweet. It's fun to just see everybody's messages. And so I just want to make sure we have not a real winner for Legendary Foods as far as what muscle group does Flex's Back Widow target. So if we don't get a winner on this one, I'm going to take it over to a story on Instagram later, and we'll put it out there.
Good, because then I can win. I'll enter and
then you can win. That's right. Because you'll be the first one, right? If no one else gets it, we're just sending it to you. Kevin wrote back, "What's up, Flex?" So I guess I have a question about you being a grandfather. What is that like? Because I will never be a grandmother. I have no children.
I'm actually a grandfather and great-grandfather.
And a great-grandfather. Oh, Wow. Okay. Tell me about that. That's fun.
It's different because you get to do things all over. My youngest daughter is 11, so I got to do things all over with her that I did differently, and the also as a competitive athlete who is serious about their craft, you don't really get to enjoy the small, simple things when you have children. You just don't, because you're so locked. Well, me, I was so locked into my craft. So now, not being about that and having my youngest daughter and even my older children, developing a different relationship with them is tremendous. And, it's the same old thing about all grandparents. You get to be a nice person all the time. You don't have to do
Feed
any
them sugar.
Yep, you don't have to discipline or anything like that. So you get to be the good guy. So
How
it's
old
amazing.
how old are your kids, and how old are all the grandbabies?
Oh gosh, you're gonna put me on blast. So
Yes.
I'm gonna mess up. So
You can do it. At least
gosh.
1 year, give or take. You don't have to be on spot, but
Right. So my oldest daughter, she's in her mid to late 30s.
okay.
I had her when I was really young. My son Kenan, his birthday's coming up. He's 30. My next oldest is Darius. My son, everybody probably recognizes Darius more because he was my infant baby that I was carrying in '98 when I competed in the Olympia. Darius is 21 now. My daughter Nia, she's kind of well known because at the 2000 Arnold Ironman, I announced her that she was going to be born. So Nia is 20 now, and then my youngest is Pearl. She's 11.
Wow. Are any of, well, before we get the ages of grandbabies, are any of them interested in either martial arts or bodybuilding fitness?
I had them all in martial arts before.
Seeing
but
if one of them could follow your footsteps.
it didn't stick for any of them. Darius is an athlete. He's done martial arts and he's a running back, so he's getting ready for to go back to college.
Oh, cool.
My daughter Nia is actually a school teacher. My son Kenan actually owns his own business in Fresno, and my daughter Brandy, the oldest, she has her own business. She does tax. So yeah.
So it sounds like everyone's doing well and staying busy, and that's exciting. You've got such a big family. That's so
I
cool.
do. I know.
That's
It's
so
crazy.
cool.
It's crazy. I don't even think about it that way until I sit down and start counting. I'm like, wow. But
Okay, what about grandbabies? How many and what ages?
oh gosh. Okay. So my son Kenan, he has a daughter and a son, and he just told me their ages too. I forgot already.
Are they under 5 or under 10 or over 10?
Both are under 10.
Okay, that's fine. That's all right. We'll let
My
you
oldest
pass on that.
daughter, Bratia, I think she has to be about 19 or 20 by now. And now she has her son, so that makes me a great grandfather. And my daughter, my oldest daughter, she has Bratia, which is my oldest granddaughter. She has her second son and her youngest son that she just had, and I don't think he is a year yet. No, he's not a year because I remember just before I lost my leg, he was born. So that's it. Yeah.
That's it. Do you guys have big Christmas time or Thanksgiving time or anything like that
No,
where y'all can get together?
At one point they're here because I'm in Vegas now, and none of them live in Vegas. Actually, my daughter Brandy just moved to Vegas, so I was able to see her a little bit more. But either they'll come down here or I'll go down there. But it's never yet been a major family event because before they were in different states and stuff like that. So yeah, but we got to do that's a good idea. We're gonna have to do something like that soon.
Yeah, family reunion, catch up, put name tags on everybody.
Yeah, I know. See, we used to do that when I was kids. Family reunions were huge, and you always knew your cousins and nephews and nieces. But that's kind of a dying thing now. It's something that is left up to our generation to continue. And I have to admit, on my end, we kind of failed in that. So,
well, do you have any family traditions that you would like to pass down?
You know what? I don't have any that I would like to pass down cliche-wise. What I'm really trying to instill in my kids' life now is Obviously they're aware of all the things that I've been through, whether it's a kidney transplant or multiple surgeries or, times where I spent over a year in the hospital. So through my challenges, I'm trying to just really, show them by living it is obstacles happen, things go wrong. It's not what happens to you, it's how you respond to it. So every day through what I'm going through, I know their eyes are on me, and I just want to show them that you have to persevere. And there's no, backing out of it or getting out of it. So, yeah, I'm just trying to demonstrate to them because, they hear from everyone, right? Who their dad is, who their grandfather is. And I don't want them to think that I'm pristine and unblemished. I want them to know that I have, major issues and major problems also, and everyone does. So I don't want them to have that weight walking around that, what my greatness was. I want them to understand that, who I am as a real person, and that, I go through problems, trials, and tribulations, and it's not that. It's how you get through it. So it's not what happens, it's how you respond to it. So that's really as I be honest, as I'm descending down the hill, right? Because I have less time here than I had time, that I was here in the past. That's the real illustration that I want to show to my children and my family, is just, how to live a life of fulfillment, and understand that it's not going to be easy, but easy doesn't mean impossible.
Now, God may have you here longer than you think.
That
right?
is true.
I mean, he's brought you through so much already, so don't be saying you got less time. You still have a lot of time.
No one knows. But my point, and I know I have to be careful in saying that.
Yeah, we got to watch what the words we say, right?
Yeah, but I also have to be wise and plan things. Especially now, it's been more demonstrated in our era than any other time. People pass away at all different ages. We've had even babies and infants pass away due to these things that are going on now. But as you get older, you have to be wise that the clock is ticking, and you need to set values and set standards. Unlike Monica, back when we were in our 20s, we were like, our whole life's ahead of us.
Yeah.
And nothing's going to happen. Yep. So like you were saying earlier, as we get older, hopefully we have some wisdom and that comes along with that. So, there is a time where I don't think anybody back in their 20s were thinking about their future as far as burial plans or or health, or anything like that, or retirement funds.
We're invincible.
Right, exactly. So that's kind of what I mean by that. But I don't put a clock on myself. He has a clock, and only he knows that time. But I just want to make sure I get. It was a great, and I'll leave it with this. There was a great line in a movie, Black Panther, when the star actor went and met his father after his father had passed away. And his dad had said to him, "It was my job to prepare you for that time when I'm no longer here." And that's what I really feel as a parent. We have to prepare our children for the day that we're no longer here, that they can survive. So that's where I am now in my mind, to try to give them all the tools necessary, because that day will come. And I pray that day comes where they bury me, not where I bury them. That's what's supposed to happen, right? Right. The evolution of life. So that's kind of what I mean by that.
Right. Well, it sounds like you need to get some traditions going in your family now, and get some family reunions together.
Yeah.
Start planning in advance, because it sounds like you've got a lot of great information these kiddos need, and your grandbabies. And do you like to be called granddad or granddaddy or papa or
whatever suits them?
Whatever comes out.
Whatever suits them. I've been called Papa, and
how cute.
My son's daughter and son, they call me Muscle Dad, and stuff. So,
that's cute.
Whatever makes them happy, I'm good with it. Whatever makes them happy, I'm okay with it.
I guess I've never heard, but how did you? Who gave you the name Flex? Is that Rico? Back in the day.
Way before Rico, actually, it was a derogatory comment that people used to call me that, because, like I said, growing up, I was really skinny, I was really short, And, I was trying to work out at a younger age. And I guess I had just a typical small man complex where I'm walking around like this and, people like, why are you always flexing?
Why are you always flexing?
Yeah, why are you always flexing? And then it just kind of got short to where it came out to, oh, here comes flex again. So that's kind of how that happened.
Well, it's turned into a fun name, and I like it. It suits you well. All right,
True.
We're going to have to shut down because I know everybody has other things to do, and I could keep talking because I like to conversate.
Yeah,
but
my phone is ringing. I'm sorry. I keep putting.
No, good. One comment here. Let's see. Two things. Ruben says he remembers you as a guest on the show ESPN with Sean Ray and Boyer Co. Good old days.
Definitely.
And then I don't know if you remember John Butler. He used to work with Muscle magazine. He was out of Canada, and he says he has great shots of you at the Arnold's backstage from the late 90s.
Oh my God! Please tell him. Give him my email address.
Yeah,
So
I will.
Contact. That'd be great.
Yeah,
Please.
he's just kind of stepped on last couple of weeks here on my shows, and we've reconnected. And he's like, I have so many old pictures from, back in those days with everybody. So he's pulled up a couple of mine from the Arnold's, competing. And so it's fun to kind of see that.
God.
But yeah, I'll put you in touch with him.
You have my permission to pass my information on to him.
Okay, I will certainly do that, Flex. And last question I have is, do you have any, or what would you give to the new bodybuilders coming up, or maybe someone that's maybe going to listen to this and go, wow, like some great information from you, top of your sport, and admired by many, and having gone through all you've gone through, any information that you can share that would help change somebody's thought about bodybuilding?
Yeah. First thing I would say is don't emulate someone else and want to emulate someone else because you're setting yourself up for failure. I hear so many times people say, I want to have legs like you. I want to have a back like you. You're setting yourself up for failure. I think if everyone just try to achieve the best that they can be and match it up against everybody else, you're putting yourself in a great position. Also understanding, competitive bodybuilding isn't for everyone. I want to play basketball, but I'm only 5'10", and I can't dribble well and I can't shoot no matter how much I love it. Now I can go out and play basketball all day long, but I just never was going to make it as a pro basketball player. So the same thing with our sport, our sport is not for everyone, but everyone can do it as far as getting in shape and staying in shape and being healthy.
Right.
And also, lastly, be careful what you ask for. You yourself know, Monica, it's not easy being a high-level pro with everybody shooting after you. It's great, being a local hero, a local pro, a state champion. But when you're competing against people all over the world, man, that's a different thing. But no matter what, at the end of the day, I would just tell everybody just to follow their dreams and don't let nobody stop them from following their dreams. Follow your dreams. Run it till the wheels fall off.
I love it. Well, Flex, thank you so much. And I'm going to be praying that God gives you the desires of your heart.
Thank you. Not all of them, because some of them are wicked in there.
The good ones, of course.
I know what you mean. Thank you so much, Monica. I appreciate it. God bless you and your family.
God bless you too. And we didn't see anyone that won tonight, so I'm going to jump on a story, and if you end up winning, then we'll get you over Legendary Foods. You're going to love it.
We're down free food, so no problem at all.
Thank you so much, Flex. It was so good to see you. God bless you too.
Thank you and your staff for all the texts and getting everything ready. I just want to thank your staff, and it seems like you have a very professional group around you, and as you should, you deserve everything.
Thank you so much. Aww.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hey guys, we're super excited to be here at the LA Fit Expo. It's our third year in a row. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be launching the Tasty Pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs. And we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
When I started taking Play Again, I was just getting back involved in competing in track. I've competed in fitness and figure competitions for now 23 years, but at the time I was just getting involved in running with the USATF Masters track events. I contribute a lot of my success into having a healthy body and having healthy joints. I know that the Play Again really helped keep me in a place where I wasn't fatigued and I wasn't as sore. If you can't recover fast enough, then you can't get back out and train fast enough. And when you do go to train, if you're not recovered enough, the training doesn't do any good. It's just this big circle of maintaining and recovery, training, maintaining, recovery, and thankfully Play Again is part of the recovery and part of the maintenance. Play Again now is a product that I will never stop using, that I am thankful to have in my life and thankful to be able to share it with others and keep everyone else as healthy as possible.
It's a sport that will reveal to you who you are. I truly believe that some of the things I was able to go through in bodybuilding is because of the discipline I had, as a martial artist. My instructor, as he explained it, I was 100 times better as a martial artist than I ever could be as a bodybuilder. And he's the one who talked me into going into bodybuilding.
Basically what it was, a mental battle, and I knew I had to prove to myself first still that I can do it, because if I didn't believe in myself, it's no way that I was going to prove it to anyone else. So I really had to dig deep and do some soul searching, and when I came up with the energy, it was just blast off from there, and I was just full steam ahead from there. You only have a time in the spotlight for a certain period of time. You have to capitalize on that. Don't think that you can live there forever until that time comes where I'm no longer at the top. I want to always be known for my physique and my trueness to the sport, and my mentality set and so on.